Welcome back to your Chips and Salsa show, powered by the Lozada team. And we were talking about, I'm Don Jorge, and my co host is Alice Lara. We were talking about the rentals and being in high demand, and the process is the same as purchasing a house. So why rent? I'm a victim of rentals because I've rented over the years, and every time you go in at a certain amount, which is say 900 or 1100, which is, I mean, fantastic. 2 years down the line, every year they raise it 100 or 150, and you have a no, you have a choice either to move out because they give you ample notice, but then you could either move or agree to the new terms, which is $150 or $100 more, sometimes 50, but it always goes up, and they know it. And once they got a renter in there, the renter is comfortable, and it's
Hmm.
hard for them to move out. So uh, I guess I should have put it as a question about is it easier just to go ahead and get try to qualify for a house and
It is easier, I think, to qualify for a house, or at least go out and try ask questions. And something that we were talking off the air with Felicia is very important, because I was asking her, what would you say to somebody that's renting, Felicia?
In my opinion, if you can afford to pay the rent, then you can definitely afford a
Mm-hmm.
house payment, because typically what we're looking at is your rental payment is is more than what you're going to pay for a
Mm-hmm.
house. Even with your taxes and insurance, it ends up being the same or less. And if it's a question of credit, which I mean, you've credit qualified for the rent, but maybe something you've been in your rental for 2 years, and so now something has happened, and your credit is less than. Again, we can work on it. We can bring your credit up to standards of purchasing a house, and so then you could purchase. There's the first time homebuyer program since you've been in a rental. And so then those first time homebuyer programs will help you with down payment assistance.
Mm-hmm.
So, in my opinion, if you're renting, there's really no reason why you shouldn't at least take a look and see what could I do so that I could actually be buying a house. And
Mm-hmm.
buying a house is your own money. You're not throwing your money at somebody else.
Yes, and I think people just renew the lease every year just because they don't want to deal with the stress maybe of buying a house, because they think it's very stressful. But that's why we're here for, making that stress go away and helping you into make that decision to become a homeowner. And that's why you come to the professionals of Lozada team, or professionals like Security National Mortgage, who are going to walk you through the process and make this simple and easy for you and your family as well.
It's such a valuable thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone through about we bought
Mm-hmm.
a townhome, then we have our house, and I wished you guys would have been. Maybe you were in existence then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This was 17 years ago, but it would have been very nice to
Mm-hmm.
go one place and have the trust. I mean, we've done this about our third show, I think,
Yes.
and just the trust that you can put in these people because they know their stuff. They know what
Mm-hmm.
they're talking about. And like you said, well, you're renting already, but check it
Mm-hmm.
out. Why not check it out? And that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why not go give a call to the Lozada team? You can call them at 602 460 4295, 602 460 4295. And you've got great people. Christina Lozada can help you out. Loan officer Felicia Dosal can help you out, and just get some information. I mean, why not? Tell me why
Mm-hmm.
you can't do it.
Yeah, and it is funny that you mentioned that, Alice, because there's this client that came to my office and he said, "Oh, I've been through this with another company and they were helping me out to buy a house, but I was just leaving headaches over headaches every day. They were asking me for documents. It's just so frustrating. I had to get out of work, just go drive here, go drive there, get them the information." But with us, it's a lot different. We try to help the customer and be involved in that transaction as much as we can, and not let the customer have that headache or that stress when it comes time to buy a house. So we make the process so easy for everyone, and we have the professionals that are going to take care on the back just to acquire information, or if they even need to do a letter, because sometimes even the lender requests a letter of explanation, that sometimes our people don't know how to deal with that. So they come to the office, the loan officer will help them out. They will put it in the computer, type it for them. They just need to sign it. I mean, they don't need to worry about anything else.
it's such a personal, professional touch that I'm getting the vibe
Mm-hmm.
from
Mhm.
with this. Is that's
Mhm.
been your, and you've been there for quite a while,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yes.
Mhm.
What is balloon payment mean?
Balloon payment is basically it's a large payment at the end of the loan. So what happens is that you're financing a certain amount of money for a certain time, say 5 years, and you're going along with payments. But then what happens is when that term is over with, you have to pay, say,
Mm-hmm.
50, $60,000, depending on what kind of a loan it is and how much the loan is. So you know that you've taken these lower payments in exchange for paying this large sum of money at the end of the term.
And that usually goes 5 years or 10 years, something like that.
Yeah, it's usually a 5 year or a 10 year term.
We
Wow.
don't see those type of loans, don't Jorge,
No.
a lot
Mm-mm.
right now because before 9/11 happened and the market collapsed, I mean, we used to see a lot of those loans and they were considered a little bit toxic. So a lot of people lost their houses just because they had a balloon payment. But right now, all the loans that we're seeing, it's a 30-year fix,
Right.
which is it's very comfortable for the buyer knowing that their payment is going to be secure for 30 years and it's not going to go up. It might go up just because the insurance or maybe taxes, but the principal and interest is always going to stay the same with the same interest rate.
Right.
Yeah, for 30
Okay.
years.
So
Right.
that's
And to what Christine is saying, the other thing is with those balloon mortgages, you had a prepayment penalty. Whereas your 30-year fix, it's fixed for 30 years. There's no prepayment penalty. You can refinance, you can pay it off whenever you want.
yeah, because I had a loan out in California that we were going to buy a house and went through everything. The lender was guaranteed the money that we were
Hmm.
going to put down, except when I was reading the contract, it said balloon payment, and I think it was 10 years or 5 years, and I said, what's that? And when I found out what it was, I was like, I got to get out of this. $100,000 or $80,000 due in 5 years. Unless you get a good you've gotten good with your credit and you can get a lender. If not, you
Hmm.
lose a house. And it's like, oh, crap, you know. So I'm glad they don't do, you don't see balloon payments too much.
Yeah.
Not in these times. You don't see this in these times. We
And that was
all
about 30 years ago,
yeah.
mind you. Okay.
Yeah. Now these days we see a lot of the 30-year fixed payments, which makes the buyers feel a lot more secure with those type of
Especially at
loans.
these low rates.
Yes.
I
Mhm.
mean, the
Yeah.
twos,
Yeah,
Yeah.
incredible.
the
Yeah.
housing market is fantastic now, and these women are your experts to go to. And for Latinos, we need people like this to come into our community and help us with the American dream. What about old houses, qualifying for old houses or new houses with a difference? You guys,
Yeah, there is a difference between buying a brand new built home that is going to be done with the builder. So we see a lot of builders moving into the state. I mean, we been so used to like Richmond American, Beezer Homes, Taylor Morrison, but now we have all these type of builders that I'm like, who's that builder? I never heard them before, but they're coming from different states just to invest in the state of Arizona, just because they see that we're growing and the real estate market is very good in this state. So, buying a new house, of course, you as a buyer can pick your flooring, you can pick your cabinets, you could pick the carpet. So you have a little bit more options versus buying something that is resale. So the paint is done, the kitchen is done. So you have no option. What you see is what you buy. So
right,
that's going to be the difference between buying a new build and a resale. A lot of the millenniums, a younger generation, they want everything new. They want a new house. They want the newest, latest iPhone. So everything that they want it new. But sometimes they do look for resale, but we see the younger generation going more to buying like the new builds. We see a lot of that. But we see the families that they don't want, they have their kids, they have their cards, they like to have parties, and maybe they don't want a house with an HOA where they're going to be restricted. Yeah, especially our community. So they're like, okay, I want a house that is like remodel, completely done, nice and pretty with no HOA. So I'm gonna go for that. Try to find something like that with an RV gate, two-car garage, big backyard to host big parties. So we're like, okay, it's your option. We go and find what you're looking for. So it's basically everybody's needs.
That's an
Yeah.
important element, and we also need to remind our audience
Yes.
we've got an event coming up next month
Yes.
on February 27th. You want to talk a little bit about this? This is big. This is huge.
Yes, this is going to be a first time home buyers class, and Security National Mortgage is going to be here with us. Our friends from Security National Mortgage, Martha Rodriguez, Yvonne Vasquez, Felicia Dusal is going to be here as well. And we're going to be helping clients. And it's going to be here at this center on it's on 24th Street and Baseline. And we're going to be putting the address there. So it's going to be next month on the 27th. It's going to be on a Saturday. It's going to be from 10 till 2. And we're going to have different, every hour, it's a different class, so everyone out there who wants to come into this first time home buyers class, we're going to be talking about how interests are. We're going to have the loan officers. You could bring your papers in hand, like your tax returns for the last 2 years, your last two pay stubs, your last bank statement, and they can go ahead and check your credit. So it's going to be for free. You come in, they're going to check your credit. You're going to see if you qualify. If you don't qualify at that moment, they're going to give you the guide, what you need to do to be able to qualify, and they're going to give you an estimated time when you're going to be ready. So if you're looking to buy and you say, well, maybe I don't qualify because my credit's not that great, well, just come in and we'll guide you on what you need to do. So that's going to be next month on the 27th from 10 till 2.
And we'll keep you posted on that and keep you reminding you. So the
Mhm.
address here actually is 2070 East Baseline. So it's 24th Street and Baseline. We're kind of right next to the Bank of America.
Mhm.
Um, come on down. And even like sometimes after the show, we usually end the show about 5 o'clock. If you just want to come by real quick and grab one of their business cards, or maybe talk to them for a few minutes, we're here. Just
Mhm.
come by and knock on the door, and we will talk to you. It's where can
Yeah.
you get all this free good stuff and
Yes.
information?
Felicia, when somebody comes in the door
Mhm.
or comes into your office or gives you that first call, what is the next step that they need to do once they give you that call? How what's the process?
Well, the first thing I like to do is I like to get to know them before I go to the next step.
Okay.
Listening is key, and
Okay.
I like to hear what it is that they want, where it is that what it is they're looking for. But once we get a feel of what it is they're looking for, Security National has what's called a Snap app, so it's real easy.
Mhm.
We just basically get their phone number and email address, and we can send them through email or even on your phone. They can fill out a very easy application. I've had somebody do it for me just to see how long it took. Took 2 minutes,
Mhm.
and it sends me their information. I get into the computer, we run their credit, we take a look at all of their particulars, and I can call them back, and then I can sit down with their credit in front of me and say, okay, this is what we can do, this is what we can't do, and this is what the next step is. It's a very easy process.
Mhm.
It's one of the easiest that I've seen with all the companies that I've been with, actually.
Yes, and that Snap app, it's an application. They can download it on their phone, and once they're in the process, you can upload documents there too. So it's
Sweet.
very easy. It's
You
super
don't have
easy.
something right away. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
get it to you
Yeah.
later.
Yeah, no, it even has a mortgage calculator with it. One
Mhm.
of my borrowers right now is going around, and when he sees a house that he likes, there's a calculator at the bottom. He doesn't have to call me and go, okay, so what's going to be the payment on this house? He just goes to the Snap app, he goes to the mortgage calculator, and he calculates everything. And that way he's got it right there, and he knows what the monthly payment's going to be on that house.
Yes.
That's a great shopping tool.
Yes.
What about on buying older homes? I know newer homes, everything's kind of new, but and buying older homes, how long does it take for the inspector? Because you would have an inspector go in and inspect the house, right?
Yes.
Is that part of
Yes.
the closing costs or something? And then what if you're in the process already of buying the house and something comes up that you don't like because an inspector found something and it can't be fixed, or it increases the value or the cost of the house? How do you handle those kind of things?
I think just managing the time on the contract. So once we sign a contract, we have 10 days to perform the inspection. So within those 10 days, within the first 24 hours, you will have to open escrow, put in your escrow money into a title company, and then you have 10 days to perform the inspection. We try to do it within the first 5 days. That way we have sufficient time. So if you don't like something that came up on the inspection, you can still cancel and get the earnest money back to you. Yeah,
Okay.
the inspection, it's not part of the closing cost. The inspection and the appraisal do have to be paid upfront. So once you go under contract, you make your earnest money, you deposit that, and then you have 10 days to perform the inspection. You perform the inspection, the inspector gives you an inspection report, and then in detail is going to be what's going on with the house. At least you know the condition of the house. Now, if there's something drastic in the house that it's not fixable, then a lot of people just decide not to move forward. But if it's something simple, it's something cosmetic, I mean, you can come into an agreement with the seller for the seller to fix it for you. But just in case they don't want to fix it for you, then you can decide, well, it's just going to cost me $60, $70 to fix it. I could just move forward and do it later on once we close on the contract on the house.
I mean, there's a lot of things that can go
Hmm.
wrong with older homes. You might have a tree out in the front that looks like a beautiful tree, but then you find out that the roots are kind of going everywhere and
Yeah.
interfering with the septic tank that goes into the house.
Hmm.
And you didn't know that. I mean,
Yeah,
the
that's
inspector would see that,
yeah,
wouldn't they?
yes, and it is very important to get an inspection done. A lot of buyers will go ahead and tell me, "Oh, Christina, no, I'm going to do the inspection
Mhm.
on my own." But it's not recommended to do the inspection on your own. So if you're buying a house and the inspection period is coming up, and you're thinking, "No, I could just kind of search around the attic, open the faucet and
Yep.
maybe see if the water's running and things like that, because that's what it's done in an inspection." But I will always recommend use a professional that could give you an inspection report. That way, if something is there that you can't see, it's better for an inspector to do it. That way, you have the guarantee that you're buying what you're actually buying.
And so
Yeah.
that's what the Lozada team gives you is professionalism at its highest,
Yes.
and also the lender with you know backing the Lozada team.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy that you guys do that, and that's something that it's from looking at a lot of houses and stuff. Uh, there's another thing I saw when you go see houses. Sometimes they have the key outside, and you could actually let yourself in. Is that part of the process that you
And
let people do, or is it always with a realtor that goes
no,
in?
it's always with the realtor. Yeah. Nobody that's buying a house in the state of Arizona should be going into a house without a realtor, especially if the house is listed on the MLS, because that person could be, it could be charged with trespassing.
Liable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Wow.
has to be with the person that is licensed even before entering the house. Yeah, and the key that we use, I have it in the car, but it's a little key that is managed by a satellite,
Hmm.
and that key, we use the super lock boxes. So every time I enter a house, the agent who has that listing gets a notification on their email, like Christina Lozada is entering at this time. And then when you return the key, it's leaving the house at this time. So it actually tracks the time that you
Wow.
were actually in the house. And
Very
it tracks
sophisticated.
every person. And this is something for security of the sellers, for them to know who is coming in the house. Yes.
That's a very sophisticated system. I had
Yes.
no idea. Things have really changed from when I was buying a house.
Yeah.
Ah, wow. Okay, so coming up on a break, Julian, was that the sign? Yes? Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. He's just telling me how much time we have. We still have, about 8, 10 minutes left of the show. Getting back a little bit to that inspection and why that is also even important. We bought a brand new house, okay?
Mhm.
So we're all happy in our new house.
Mhm.
Friend of mine comes over who happens to do construction. He says, Alice, check out that little drain right there where the water comes off your roof. The way that they constructed your driveway, it's
Mhm.
not going to drain like
Mhm.
it's supposed to. So I mean, we wouldn't know that.
Mhm.
We wouldn't have any idea. So lucky enough, we contacted, and I won't name I won't mention the builder, but they did come out and they had to tear up all the concrete and they put it in so it had the proper slope. But there's things like that,
Mhm.
like you say, I would never even. We just by chance had my good friend, our good compadres came over, and he saw that. I'm like, thank
Yeah.
goodness you did, because the first big rain, we'd have been in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, people when they're buying a house, maybe they don't pay attention or they don't put detail on these little things, but it is very important. That's why it's very important to have an agent next to you just to walk you through the process and kind of help you catch these little things that maybe they could get fixed even before you go into that. Yeah.
Yeah, makes
Yeah,
things a
like
whole lot
water
easier.
heaters. Who thinks about checking a water heater? If it's an old house, they might not have changed the water heater in 10 years. There's a problem. There's sediment that gathers in that water heater that after you buy the house, you end up having little troubles, and you could even get black mold. And it's there's very important things that you have to check, and maybe through the Lozada team and
Hmm.
their inspection team, they make sure that you're going into a house that's been inspected properly, and that's what you want.
It's totally worth it for the peace of mind, and to be able to
Hmm.
just the apps you guys have, and you know what you're doing, and just be able to pick up the phone and then call you with a question.
Yes.
Maybe we could talk to in Spanish to the Spanish speaking people of the Lazada team and what they have to offer.
They'll be impressed with Felicia because when I saw her, my
Yeah.
first impression was she doesn't speak Spanish. Pero sí hablamos español. Todas las personas que estén buscando comprar casa, vender casa, este es el momento correcto. Estamos en un mercado muy ocupado aquí en Phoenix, Arizona y a su alrededor y estamos aquí, sus agentes de bienes raíces, para ayudarle en todas sus necesidades, ya sea compra o venta de casa. Cuente con nosotros.
Ay, lo siento mucho. Yo no soy hispano, pero sí hablo español y sí háblame despacio, porque no es 100% mi español, pero sí entiende y sí hablo y si necesito ayuda, háblame. Yo estoy aquí por la gente para contestar todas las preguntas, para ayuda con préstamos, para ayuda con todo. Y tengo mucha experiencia y aquí estoy con el equipo de Iván Vázquez para ayuda y ayuda con el equipo de Lozada con todos los préstamos.
Y
I give you
están,
an A.
Thank you.
y están aquí para ayudar la gente de la comunidad.
Ujú.
Y llama a Cristina Lozada at 602-460-4295.
Dígale en español los números.
En español también.
602.
602 460 4295.
Y quiero dar las gracias a Santiago Villegas, que preparó una rica salsa el día de hoy para este show de Chips and Salsa. Gracias, gracias, Jamie. Sí,
Thank you,
es la
Jamie.
receta de la mamá, dijo. Yeah. Yes. So, anything that you want to tell the people out there who are looking to buy, Felicia, before we finish up the show?
um, you know, only that everything is going and going fast. And so if you need something, if you see something, don't hesitate to pick up the phone and call. Don't think, oh, I'm going to wait, because it is going fast. Rates are low.
Mhm.
I don't know how long they're going to stay low. So the best thing to do, if you have any questions, is pick up the phone and call Christina, call myself, call anyone from the Lizanda team or our team, and just don't hesitate, because it's not going to be there for long.
Yes.
Great advice.
And we're here every Thursday with the Lozada team and with our special guests each week. And Cristina Lozada, this is powered by the Lozada team. And they've been so gracious to let the Chips and Salsa show premiere this program to the public here in Central Phoenix.
Yeah, and I'm excited about next month with
Yeah.
that new. It's for new home buyers.
Yes.
February 27th. That's going to be right here at this center, and it's 2070 East Baseline, so 24th Street and Baseline area down here in the South Mountain community. And you're going to have so much information, and it's free, man. It's
Yeah.
free.
Yes, we're going to be creating a flyer. So we are going to be posting it on the Ships and Salsa show together on our social media platforms. So you guys can know where we're going to be at and where this is going to, the first time home buyers class is going to be taking place at. I also want to let everybody know, and I wanted to talk, I'm just going to be very brief, but I just wanted to let everybody know all the people who lost houses maybe 3, 4 years ago, or even 5 years ago, and you're thinking maybe it's time to buy, well, the time is right. That wouldn't affect them now, right,
Mm-mm.
Felicia?
No, it's 4 years for foreclosure, so they're
Yeah.
out of that already.
Oh, just
Yes,
4 years.
because a
Wow.
lot of people do call me and they tell me, oh, I lost a house about 5 years ago. Would I qualify to buy a new house now? I'll be like, yeah, let me connect you or let me put you in contact with the loan officer. But what I've been hearing Martha said, now it's time. Yeah, they qualify. So
Absolutely.
don't think that's going to be affecting your credit forever, or you have to wait like 10, 20 years to buy a house. I mean, after 4 years, you're saying from a foreclosure, you can buy a house again. So even the first time home buyers class, if you had a house before, you would qualify to buy a house now, and you will also qualify for the down payment assistance programs.
Yeah, there's a lot of misinformation out there. I'm getting a lot of phone calls of people saying, "Oh, I have to have 20% down." No, you don't.
Mhm.
We have programs as little as 3% down. And even with your down payment assistance, then all you're paying is closing costs. So don't let anybody tell you have to have 20% down. That's not the case.
Yes, the time to buy is now. So do not hesitate. Pick up the phone and just call the number there on the screen. And myself and Felicia are going to be helping you and guiding you to your home buying process.
Well, I don't know we can say any more to put everybody's mind at ease. This is a professional team. They know what they're doing, they know what they're talking about. And we're just thrilled that we can partner with them a little bit
And
and bring to the
that's
community.
why we're with the Lozada team, because we trust in the organization that she's built and that they've built, because
Number
it's a
one.
team. It's a team effort. They got 21 23 agents and a lot of sub agents, so it's like this is a big company, and a big company to help you, the community.
Great.
Yeah.
So this is La Voz de la
La
Comunidad.
voz de la comunidad. I haven't even mentioned it. That's what we call it, la voz de la comunidad.
Great. Okay, I think we're going to sign off. We'd like to invite you to come back with us next Thursday at 4 p.m. We'll be right here. And I think you'll be back with us, Christina
Yes.
Lozada.
Yes.
Lozada, Lozada. Okay. And thank you so much, Felicia, for joining
Thank
us
you for
today.
having me.
It's been
Yeah.
awesome.
And we're gonna taste the great salsa today. Let's see.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's all taste it.
that's right.
Thank you.
Guaca. Until next week.
Mm.
Delicious.
Mm.
Mm.